Okay, good morning or good afternoon, everyone. We're excited to be with you today with Translators on Air, a series of webinars hosted by BureauWorks. And I will start with the introduction of the initiative. It is a very special episode today. So this initiative is centered around the beating heart of our industry in this era of AI, the translators. And throughout this series of events, translators discuss their roles while wearing different hats. So they may be professors, translation managers, students, or linguists. They delve into the transformative era of AI, offering insights into the translator's evolving role. So we provide this platform for you to understand, learn, interact, and build awareness and strategy, encouraging you to your involvement and critical thinking. So every week we gather here for a new episode on this air, welcoming a special guest to explore the role of translators in the AI era. And for those of you who have not been with me before, I'm Viveta Jean. I have 20 years of experience in the industry. I serve as an AI language solution specialist, MTPE expert, and trainer, and PhD candidate in translation. I hold the position of Head of Partnerships at BureauWorks. And BureauWorks is a translation technology company synonymous with innovation in the translation tech field. And the proof is that our TMS, BWX, is the winner of the Process Innovation Challenge Award at Logworld 50. So today we have a question of responsibility. And it seems that we should not wear high heels today because we have to hop on the AI bandwagon, how to train trainers, students, and the industry. And as we want all the voices to be heard, we are honored to have today a special guest to discuss the perspective of students and the perspective of the trainer, of the professor, of the person who delves into education and contributes to the continuation of our profession. So we have with us, and we are honored, Parthena Charalampidou, who has studied English language and literature in Aristotle University of Thessaloniki, and she holds an MA on Language and Communication Sciences with specialization in translation studies. Her PhD dissertation focuses on translation and website localization, and her research interests revolve around semiotic, rhetorical, and cultural approaches to translation. She's particularly interested in website localization and the application of technology and corpora to translation. So the surprise for today is that Parthena is connected from the lab of the University of the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki with all the students of the master. And Parthena, thank you very much for being with us. The floor is yours.
Hi, Viveta. Hi to everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm really excited to be participating in such an initiative which brings academia and industry even closer and gives our students the opportunity to get involved in a discussion regarding AI and its applications in translation, in translator training, as well as getting a demo of your tool, of a tool that integrates AI in translation.
Thank you very much. We have a long journey with Parthena and with the university because with the students of the master, we're going to have an experiment. So we're going to use generative AI and the features of BWX to explore further. And I suppose that you will be informed of the results in one of the next conferences. So we hope everything goes well. And how many students do we have, Parthena, with us today?
We have 25 students here who are attending the course Care and Translation Practices in the European Masters in Translation here at Aristotle University of Thessaloniki, which includes training on project management, post-editing, and marketing, that is promotion of the translator himself, herself, to the market.
And this is really interesting because post-editing is working, let's say, in this university at the education level, which does not happen based on what we know around the globe. It is
Mhm.
in some countries it does not work. So it is great to hear. And saying that, I would like to start our discussion today with the global training landscape. So, what is the current state, and how did we reach this state today?
Mhm. Well, it seems that we've gone a long way, and there has been a huge progress in the way translators work and the way translators are trained. So we have started from paper. We used to get photocopies from our teacher and then turn back a translation on paper. And then we started using the computer. Labs have started being created in universities. CAT tools have come into our lives, and students get trained on the use of CAD tools. We have contracts and collaborations with companies to get free access and get free licenses for their tools so that students get trained. And then licenses even have changed because we now work through the cloud, and now we have reached the era of AI, and we need to train students on how to use AI. Regarding how this training is done globally, I think that there is no balance. I mean, there are some countries in which CAT tools are not introduced at all, but then even in countries where students get trained on CAT tools, there are differences, there are different levels of training. There are some programs which are more theoretically oriented, and some others which apply more hands-on practice. I think that both approaches are really important. It's really important for students to know how to use CAD tools, when to use them, and up to which level a CAD tool can offer solutions, and know when to look at other resources or combine them with other resources. I think it's really important to have this theoretical approach as well and develop a general mentality in the use of CAD tools so that they become more adaptable and that they know how to use different types of tools, because there is such a technological evolution and new tools come up all the time. So they need to be able to learn how to learn. We should teach them how to learn on their own. When they actually finish university, they need to be able to get self-trained.
Mm-hmm. So it's really important to understand the concepts like what is a translation memory and what is machine translation and
Mhm.
what is a translation unit. And taking it from there, they can have their practice with the different CAT tools and see how this mechanism and these concepts are taking flesh, let's say, within
Mhm.
these interfaces. Okay, and we talked about the CAT tool and the learning attitudes. How do we feel about that? Are translators positive? The students, I mean, are they positive towards the use of CAT tools?
I think we have a slide regarding
Mm-hmm.
that. Well, I posed the question to the students. I asked them how do they feel regarding the use of catch tools, and I don't know whether we can see the slide. Yes, you
Mm-hmm.
can see that there is a positive attitude. Most of them see the use of catch tools as something really positive. I don't know if they would like to express their opinion and tell us how they feel about using CAT tools in translation practice. They have been trained, they are in their third semester now, so they have been trained in using CAT tools. They have attended courses on translation tools. So it seems that their impression is positive.
Yes,
Um,
we
yes,
see
we can
that,
have
and
a student express their opinion if someone would like
so
to.
we're going to have with us Eleni and Nicoleta.
It's Stella Bagyadji, and then we will have.
Okay, Stella, fantastic.
Yes. Hello.
Hello,
Um,
Stella. Great to
Regarding,
have you with us.
thank you. It's great to be here. Regarding catalogs, of course, my answer is positive. Um,
I think it's great to use technology in order to make our work faster, more efficient, and in general, work in easier way for us. Because how else would we translate through Word, through paper? It makes sense to use technology in our favor. That's all I wanted to say. Mostly.
Thank you very much. And it's great to hear that because we have lived in a different era as students where there was a transition probably from the paper and the pen to computers and what you see today like a given, and there was a great resistance to cut tools in the beginning. So hearing now that how could we do that without a computer and without cut tools, it is very optimistic because we're going to see the next slides. We're going very smoothly into the AI era from
I
the
don't,
perspective of the students.
I don't think it's something to be afraid of. We just need to train ourselves probably and get used to the programs. And then I think it's something that can help us in a positive way.
Thank you very much, Stella. I think, yeah, training is the key. Thank you.
Um, well, I took the initiative to ask them regarding the use of AI as well.
Hmm.
Although I kind of knew the answer, I don't know whether we can show the next slide. Well, it seems that they're not sure. Most of them are somewhere in the middle. They do not, they have both positive and negative feelings regarding AI, and I think that's normal because they haven't actually got used to that. They haven't explored it enough. I think even professional translators haven't explored the use of AI to a degree, to a level that they could apply it in everyday work. But I think that it's something that is changing. I think that it's being integrated in our lives little by little. Professionals start working with AI, and it's really important for us universities to keep up with this trend and see AI as an ally.
It's this slide is great. I would like to disseminate it around the world because even if it comes from a small group of students, it shows what for me. It shows that we students have an open mind, meaning they don't have a bias. They're not negative or positive. They are like ready to take whatever we give them right now, and we should do it the right way. We should do it ethically, and they are ready to receive the help of AI as an assistance, but they're still somehow hesitating because they don't know how to do it. This is how I would see this middle, let's say, um, part group of students saying that they are somehow neutral.
Mhm. We can have a student's opinion who would like to talk about that and express her feelings about the use of AI in translation.
Hmm.
Hi, my name is Marina. Thank you very much for having me here. So I'm one of the students that actually has a relatively positive view of AI. I believe that when new technologies get introduced into a market, any market that is, there are a lot of people that start out very negative or at least very cautious. But in reality, new technologies just evolve professions and evolve just translation studies in this case in general. So we should not fear them, we should study them and use them. It is a tool, and yes, it can be used negatively, it can be used by people that want to cut corners, it can be used by people that just do not want to hire translators. But in reality, we as professionals, well, maybe in the future at least, but as professionals, we can use them to better translation, to work more efficiently, faster. At the end of the day, it is a tool, and we can use it to our advantage. That's all I want to say. Thank you very much.
This is great. Thank you very much. So I believe that this opinion is very optimistic for us, and
Mhm.
for our discussion. How someone told me, live or die, something like that. So nothing like that will happen about dying. We
Mhm.
have a future ahead, and the students make sure that we have this future very well built.
Mhm.
So, yes, thank you very much. And Parthena, what would you like me to do? Would you like me to proceed with the next slide or go to the next question I have for you?
No, let's move on with the next question. I will tell you
Okay,
when to use the slides.
fantastic. So, after this discussion with the students, it is revealed that we have training challenges. And my question would be, is the market thirsty for training?
Well, the truth is that I don't know what the side of the market is, but I know that very often we have professional translators who want to upgrade their skills and actually come and join the master's program. So, although they have graduated, they have started working, then they want to go back to the university, they want to come back to the university and have upper level studies. Maybe they want more theoretical background, maybe they need to get up to date and see what the state of the art is regarding practices and technology or new types of translation, maybe. But I can see that some professionals, around 20% of students from the years that I have been teaching in the EMT, are people who are already working and who are professionals. Also, regarding the attitude of the market towards the university, I would say that there is a very positive attitude. I know that they offer webinars and they are always willing to offer webinars to our students as well. So there is an exchange of knowledge between the university and companies. I think we have different things to offer, the one to the other, and it's a win-win case. So these collaborations, offering webinars from the companies to the students, practice for specific tools. I think this is very useful. And also, companies need to get want to get some feedback from us. They want us to prepare professionals who have the skills and competencies required for real life situations for the market. So I think that this interaction is really important, and we should always try to initiate such initiatives, such collaborations.
And this is thanks to you, the new generation of professors, because in the past there was this situation of having, let's say, the people who would, students who would follow an academic career and students who would go towards the industry. But it
Mhm.
seems that this now is more balanced, and professors are not only interested in the academic career of students, but they're also interested in their induction, let's say, and inclusion in the market and in the translation industry, which is what it matters, because translation is an art, is a science, is a profession. There are many things involved. So it's very good to hear that this chain is somehow complete. A
Mhm.
university, market, students, professors, everyone is involved. And this was also the initiative of the Gala MTP Training Special Interest Group. Thank you
Mhm.
very much, Parthena. And saying that, I would like to mention that you are our Gala representative for the academia at the Globalization Localization Association, and we work together to bridge the gap between all the stakeholders, meaning academia, buyers, LSPs, post editors, to find ways to work together effectively and efficiently. And what are, in your opinion, good ideas, other good ideas and initiatives to make this happen?
Well, I think that a gala is a perfect area, the perfect room to network and create collaborations between industry and academia. And that was the reason that I actually wanted to participate in gala. And the truth is that various collaborations came out of this participation. For example, last year we had a collaboration between the EMT at Aristotle University of Thessaloniki with Serge Gladkov and Logos Global from the US. Students were asked to annotate the errors of a post-edited text using the metric that the company had developed. So they were actually asked to participate and execute an assignment that was a real life assignment. So, and they actually got paid for that. So there was a really true motivation, high motivation for the students. And it was also beneficial for the company because we annotated the errors for a specific language pair for which the company didn't have any evidence or elements. So I think that this kind of, let's say, collaboration is really important, and it should be sought for both by universities and companies, because it is, again, a win-win case for both.
And this is the reason, it is a very good example. This is the reason that here at BureWorks, we so much value the cooperation with the universities, because whatever we build as a company, as an industry, it is oriented to the use by the students, by the new translators, the new generation. So the more we count on them, the better things become, I believe.
Mhm.
Okay, and now I have a question about the role of the translator, of the student actually, that is going to be a part of our translation industry. And there we could think of an ideal student profile. So, in your opinion, what is the student profile that would be a good fit for the industry?
Mm. So, okay, we have many models, competence models that have been proposed. We have the PACT competence model, we have the EMT competence framework, and their various skills are highlighted. But I think that apart from cultural and linguistic knowledge, which is absolutely essential, other skills specifically for the industry are required. For example, I would say that a student who is really organized and has an eye for detail would be a very good fit. A student who submits assignments without delays on time also shows a person who is responsible on what he or she is doing and would keep deadlines, for example, which is very essential for a professional translator. Also, students who have developed a team spirit and are comfortable with working with other people in the context of a team. This is really important because in real life they will have to collaborate with other translators and other professionals as well. So it's really important for them to be able to work in a team. Another element that I would like to highlight is their positive attitude towards technology. Since there is such a huge progress and evolution regarding technology and new tools and AI tools progressing and evolving, I think it's really important to have this positive attitude so that they can actually adopt and use these tools in their everyday working life. I think these are elements I would highlight.
And what you just mentioned refers actually to what we call soft skills, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
hmm
exactly.
And the most important soft skill that you mentioned is about their attitude, which I would translate into their trainability, meaning if they are, if they have the willingness to be trained in whatever we want them
Exactly.
to be trained as a basis for learning to start, because this is the number one parameter for anything we would like them to learn and how to motivate students to learn. And at this point, can we have the opinions of students about
Mhm.
how do they feel about their upcoming cooperation with industry.
Yes. Elena and Nicoleta will give their opinion. These students, as I said before, are in the third semester of their studies, and in the next semester, they're going to do their practice in some companies with which we collaborate, so we can hear their opinion.
Hello. Thanks for
Hello. So
having me.
we have Nicoleta, you said, Parthena?
This is Elena.
Hmm.
Elena is talking now, and Nicoleta.
Hello, thank you for
Fantastic.
having us. So,
Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you as well. My personal expectations for my upcoming journey with my first ever translation job, so to say, would be to really get a glimpse of the job in real conditions, because everything that we've been doing over the past year and a half has been, all the practices that we've been doing have been actually a simulation. It's not a real condition, it's a simulation of this condition. And I would really like to learn a lot and get better and receive training on the job. And I think it's really, really important to be able to learn every day, all day, from people that are much more experienced than me, while also performing the job. Also, what I'm expecting from this is that it actually helps me a lot with also choosing my, so to say, path in the translation world, in the linguistic world, because it's not only about translating a text or editing, making corrections to a text. It's also actually quite a few of us are also considering a position of project management. Some of us are actually really positive towards that. Some of us are actually skeptical. Should I do this? Should I not do this? But it's also a possibility for our professional future. And also, what I'm also expecting is that I get some help about specialization, which is also something really important to me, because I've been asking ever since the beginning. I've been asking myself, okay, do I want to be able to do a little bit of everything, or should there be one or two subjects that I would really like to get proficient in? Would that be medical? Is it legal? Is it two of them, a combination, and what combination? So I think that it would be a really good start to also begin to think about those things that will actually be my professional career in the future.
Thank you
Well,
very much. So it is a matter, let's say, of decision that you have to do and expectations aligned with the industry. And what you said is that there is not only the translation role, but there are other roles connected to it, like project management, etc. And also the different specializations that you may be asked to cover, correct?
yes, absolutely. And I think there is no better way to get a first impression of what you would like your professional career to look like, other than get on the job, learn from more experience, get their opinion as well. Because you do this job, you receive feedback, and you also receive advice. And I believe that I could really use the advice of people much more experienced than me. That someone I would really appreciate someone who works with me, but they tell me, "Oh, you see, I think you're really good at this. Why don't you make it a career?"
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I do it, maybe I don't, but I would really appreciate that feedback and take it into consideration.
Thank you very much. And Nicoleta,
Well, my feelings towards the industry are
before you start, come a
yes,
little bit closer because
yes, yes,
maybe it's better to hear you better.
yes. Well, my feelings towards the industry are a perfect mixture of excitement and nervousness. Well, nervousness because even since from the beginning of our BA, we've been told that AI would be the future of the industry, and at some point we will be considered as really someone who as something that is not a job. And it's really nice that here in the masters we actually learn how to use AI and machine translation on
as a friend and actually consider it as a tool that will make our life easier and not actually made us sit on the background. So that's really interesting. And as my colleague said, I'm really excited to see how the industry will be, what are the differences from the academia to the work environment, and how I can use my skills that I've learned in the masters and in the BA to the work environment and in the real life conditions. So that would be really exciting.
Thank you very much. It's great to hear your excitement about the future. Thank you both.
Thank you so for
Thank
having us.
you.
So, at this point, I would like to go and see with one of the students, maybe someone who can be next to you, Parthena,
Mhm.
their reactions, I would say, because they said that AI is really exciting. So I have BWX with me, our tool. That we're going to check next week with the students. But as a short introduction, we can check a text and see how they feel about the assistive powered AI powered features of the tool.
Okay.
So let
Mhm.
me share my screen.
Mhm.
I have Nicoletta with you.
It's both Nicoletta and Marina.
Fantastic. Okay. So let me find the project. Now, do you understand Spanish?
No.
Okay. So we will go for Greek because what we want to see is your reactions. So I will go to this project. The audience probably they do not understand Greek, all of them, but it will seem Greek to them. But for us, okay, for the reactions, it's going to be useful. So what we see here is that we have this interface of the cat tool. We have the source and the target. So here we have the window where we have all the suggestions coming from the translation memory, from the glossary, etc. So for the purpose of this demo, I'm not going to show this menu, but I'm going here in the first segment. Let me check if everything goes well with it. One moment, please, to connect again. I need to reconnect. Okay, we go. So you see now my screen?
Not yet. Yes, now yes.
Okay, I had a spell. Okay, so now it's okay. And we can see that the first segment, it is a platform, and you have directly the translation into Greek. What you see is that you have the spell checking running. So if there is an error, like a linguistic one, here we have checking translation smells, we have spell checking, and we'll find out what is the error. In addition to this, the BWX AI powered actions have this proofread. So you can go and press this button, this magic button, and will bring you the correct translation, proofread. So this is one of the actions of AI. A second thing, I don't know because you are students if you are aware of this in the CAT tools, is that sometimes when the formatting of the document has some, is somehow demanding, in this case, the formatting is converted into tags into the CAT tool. So for example, here, we see that we have directly the translation, whatever machine translation gives us as a translation. And you see that there is this translation smells, which means that something smells fishy in this translation, something goes wrong, it's like a warning. And it says the term pricing has not been translated into Greek. The correct translation should be tymology. So you have this warning as translators, and if you go here, you can also get an alternative suggestion for this. So let's see what AI suggests. It's going to give you an alternative suggestion like tymology epikinonia, and you're going to have an explanation. The term pricing in English refers to the process of setting a price for a product or service. The direct translation of pricing in Greek is tymology. The term epikinonia is correctly translated as content. So in this case, you get all the explanation, which is fascinating for me to have all this explanation, even for the Greek language. And this happens thanks to a semantic verifier that runs. And if, for example, I have a tag which is not correct here, I can use this fixed tags feature, and this is going to be automatically corrected by placing the tags. So you see directly that you have some AI-powered actions because the system cooperates with ChatGPT 3.5 and 4, but you don't go out of this interface to go and find ChatGPT and work in an open space environment, but all the assistance of the AI is already integrated within your interface. So you can have a translation, an alternative suggestion, you can have proofreading, and if there is something going wrong in the translation, check smells is going to smell it, and you have fixed tags for the tags. So for example, if I go to the segment, let's find something here, 28, you see what is the result of this translation. You see that checking translation smells is here, that the tag is placed, and you have no smells found. In this case, when no smells are found, meaning that no warning is there, it does not mean that your translation is correct, because translation smells is just a warning. But when there is a translation smells, this means that you have a warning to check something in your translation. You see that spell checking is working, and you have this result coming from machine translation, which is now, in our case, is Microsoft Azure. So how do you feel about the result and about the features of the tool?
It's really interesting to see such a specific and also long explanation about Greek. It's something that we don't really see that often. So that's really refreshing and exciting, I would say.
I also find it very impressive, all the detail and also the detail on the interface, not just the details about, for example, the pricing, like the information itself, but I think that it's very user friendly when it comes to the interface, and it could be extremely useful. It could cut down times, especially when it comes to maybe I don't know. Maybe a little bit of research when we do not have background knowledge, maybe, and it just gives us a little bit of an idea what it could be, so that we can then start our own research instead of looking at completely different stuff. It can just give us that entry point, let's say, to our research with its suggestion, which is something that I appreciate a lot.
Especially when it comes to text that we're not really familiar with. We spend a lot of time researching, so it's nice to actually have a machine translation that actually gives us that research and that explains to us why it chooses that word, in what context we can see it, why it was selected. So this is really important for us because it cuts down a lot of time that we would spend on research and word planning.
Of course, we would double check.
Yes,
just, again, it's just an entry point there to give us an idea, let's say.
Exactly. And the same goes for this is a characteristic segment I show because it has an idiom, because in English it has to have an overview of the land. So for a junior translator just starting, maybe it's something that they would miss. So by having these translation smells here, that the overview of the land has been translated literally into Greek, so this is really helpful for you to be able to have extra research or trying to find a more relevant translation. So let's say that it somehow catches the weak points of machine translation, and it gives you an extra power to be able to filter the machine translation and correct in a more um, wise way, let's say.
Could I
So, yes.
ask a
Mhm.
question, if possible? How does this tool deal with words or phrases that are ambivalent, that could mean multiple things?
How
What would
how is
suggest
this tool?
deal with a phrase in a source language that has multiple meanings? So,
It's ambiguous.
yeah, that's ambiguous. How would it catch, let's say, the error? What would it suggest? How would it work?
I don't think it would catch it necessarily. It would try at least. But I believe that when there is an ambiguity, the semantic functions, let's say, behind the tool, I don't know that it would be how to say, it may catch it, it may not catch it. It depends on what is the machine translation outcome, how the system, which is the machine translation system, is trained. Maybe translation smells would give us a warning about it, maybe not. So this is really important what you said, because the decision maker in this case, it is us. It is us that take the responsibility of how to translate, how to post edit, how to edit this translation, and if we are going to use um, something like a suggestion coming from the AI help or not. So this is the important thing about the translator role in the future, that we may have like 5, 10, 20 tools or assistive AI tools, but it is us making the decision in the end. For some people, this matters. For others, they find it that we lose the basic concept of the translator role. It depends on how we have been used to, because in the past translators were people typing. Now translators are people who think more than they type. So I believe that the importance is in the expertise, in the thinking, in what you learn at the university, and how you apply this in an innovative way, because the more innovative the tools become, the more innovative people become. So, and students and the professionals of the future. So, thank you very much for this remark. Let me know if you would like to see something else, a different segment, or which of these features you liked best.
When it comes to the features, I think that the button about the smells, although to be completely honest with you, I cannot see with all detail from
Let me
here.
try to do something here with, to do something bigger. Okay. So let's see if we have another example of translation smells here. No smells found for this. But for example, um, maybe if I go to a bigger segments, these are literal, so it's going to be okay for it. Uh, let's see this one. It's very simple, but
Mm,
no, for the basic here, for example, it may find something. Um, you see, because it is an idiom, we hope that it will smell something. So it says, for the brave who want to take localization by the horse.
I
And
mean,
the translation in Greek by machine translation is too literal. And we see that it detected something. Um, so the phrase take by the horns, it is an idiomatic expression in English, meaning to deal with a problem directly and decisively. This expression does not translate directly into Greek and should be replaced with an equivalent Greek expression, such as να αντιμετωπίσουν κάτι με θάρρος και αποφασιστικότητα, to face something with courage and decisiveness. So I believe that it's really close to the semantic network, correct?
yeah,
Yes, definitely.
and the process is very streamlined, which is something else that I noticed about this tool. It is very, I believe, at least at first glance, very easy to use. At least it seems so, and it seems like very clear with a lot of information, and again, very visually appealing. Let's say it's easy on the eye because there are a lot of tools that can kind of give you a headache with all the information.
And that's one of the main difficulties that we have as young translators, that because translation technology is such a huge part of our lives nowadays. It's one of the things that stresses us the most if we're going to be able to use the technology and how and the way that we need to learn it. So it's nice to have a tool that it's user friendly and that it's easy to figure it out.
Mhm.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for what you just shared with us. We believe the same. My motto is that we place translators at the heart of the process, meaning that whenever they translate, we don't want to take their attention away from the text. We try to have a seamless, let's say, interface for them to be able to focus on the meaning, on their text, on their communication goal, and less to the technology, which should be around like seamless help. So yes, thank you very much for your feedback, and I hope you are happy with the experiment that we're going to have next week. Thank you very much, both.
Very much as well.
So, Parthena, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Your students are amazing. They
Thank
they
you.
innovate.
Yes. The good thing is that they have a positive attitude towards technology, and you can see that they want to learn new things. They want to learn functionalities of the tools and how they can use them in translation practice. It's really important.
Mhm, mhm. And by having this sentence here, for the brave who want to take localization by the horns, I will go to our discussion. We have some minutes to touch this, which is a little bit spicy. It
Mhm,
is the creative text, and
mhm.
how do we deal with creative text and AI or machine translation? What is your experience?
Well, we can show some slides here. The next
Mhm,
slides that I have prepared. Well, generally, we think we have the impression, and up to now, that was the reality. Through machine translation, neural machine translation, we cannot be creative. Uh, Machine translation actually translates the input. We have more literal renderings. Lawrence Venuti, for example, stresses that machine translation is unable to perform the interpretative act, and that it actually generates versions on the basis of electronic database of texts that might multiply possibilities and illuminate the source text. Next, in the next slide, Ian Pedersen also mentions that machine translation cannot be creative. But this does not mean that it cannot be used creatively. And by that, I take the chance to refer to Translation Plus statement in the next slide, about the fact that what if we start using AI generative tools for translation tasks that don't require 100% accuracy? Because in creative texts, let's say a slogan, for example, we do not need 100% accuracy. In fact, we want to grasp the meaning, the implied meaning, and then transfer it to the other culture. So although tools like Google Translate can only translate the text we input, with generative tools like ChatGPT or Bard, we can use broader prompts and provide feedback to explore different ideas around meaning. And we have here an example, because I have studied the localization towards the English language of a university websites. I was really surprised by the fact that in the English version of the Aristotle University's homepage, we have this phrase, "Περνώντας τη σκητάλη της γνώσης" in Greek, which literally means passing the baton of knowledge. And we find this literal translation in the official university website. And here we have a suggestion by Bard that, well, this is too literal and it may not be understood by English speakers. So I suggest something else. For example, passing on the torch of knowledge. Or other suggestions would be handing down the knowledge or transmitting the knowledge. Then I moved on, if we can see the next slide, and I actually tested trying to have a more joyful tone, and I asked from the specific tool to give me suggestions to translate the same phrase, giving it a more joyful tone. And it actually provided various suggestions, various options, such as sharing the spark of knowledge, illuminating the minds of the future. In fact, it uses different metaphors. So we have different concepts that we can use. The translator can actually get inspiration from these suggestions, create something completely different, but we can see that we have a good friend here, a good partner who actually gives ideas. So why not use that? We cannot tell the students don't use AI. It's out there and everybody uses it. How can we prevent them from doing that? We should just take advantage of what we have there and actually use it for inspiration. And then I moved on and asked for something more. In the next slide, I saw if it could provide a different option, a different suggestion for a different audience. So I said, can you please translate the phrase for a young audience? And it said, sure, here are some translations. And we have sharing our smarts with the next generation, helping others learn new things. So we can see here that all these function-oriented theories of translation, according to which we take into account the target audience, we take into account the style of the text. This is actually applied, can be applied. All this knowledge, all this theoretical knowledge can actually be applied with AI tools. And so we can actually, we do not abandon theory, but we actually use it in order to have, for example, better prompts and get better results. And I think that this is going to improve in the future. And only people who have this theoretical background and have this knowledge will be able to get good results, because they will know what kind of prompts they can actually give to these tools. So I think that AI can be a very useful tool. We should not be afraid of it. As I said before, it's an ally and not the enemy. And I think we should train our students on how to use it correctly, placing emphasis, of course, on the ethics of the use of AI. This is really important. This is the first thing that we should do. Students should be trained knowing the ethics of AI use in translation.
And this is exactly what we tried to do with BWX, to bring all the prompting integrated into this interface, to be a simple thing on one hand. On the other hand, not to have the problem of ethics, which means that we go to an open space and start giving data, sharing data, and become the product of it. So I share the same perspective as you about the conceptual network that it creates. It's like producing some sparks, let's say, in your brain, and it's up to you how creative you are to use them or ignore them.
Mhm.
So either you make fire out of it or not, but it's really useful, and it is our way. I mean, we cannot get rid of it. We don't want to get rid of it because we created it. So it is something that we can go in favor of and be trained in how to use it. The only, let's say, objection I have, which is completely personal, is that I would not like to see myself like a prompt engineer, meaning
Mhm.
that I would not like to go and give all these commands to a system until I get what
Mhm.
I want. I would say, look, technology providers, you are there for this. Make it happen. Give us more features.
Mhm.
Filter the power of AI like we do here, and somehow not to interrupt your thinking mechanism and go and start asking things all the time. I think we have enough with the research. As translators, we search a lot. We would not also like to prepare commands for any alternative suggestion that we would like to have. It takes time. My
Yes.
only objection is
Mhm.
this.
It's another resource. We should see it as another resource that translators can use. We have so many resources. It's one more that can actually enhance our work.
This is the message, and I think we are all happy with this. It's not like what is it? It is a tool. Exactly. It is a
Mhm.
tool, and this means that it has a use. And if the use is ethical, then it is useful. And we should use it for the correct use cases. And it's all about the usability theory in the end. Thank you very much, Parthena. I don't know if you have anything else to add. I would like to thank very much the students and
Mhm.
the Aristotle University, all of you for being with us and sharing your perspectives. This is treasure for sure, for the
Mhm.
future, for all of us. Thank you very much for being with us.
And I would like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to get engaged in such a discussion, and I'm looking forward to our collaboration.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being with us with Translators on Air. We will see you next week, probably with a new surprise special
Mhm.
guest. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye bye.